the Pizza After Midnight podcast. This is Rob. Joining me once again, Isaac and Patrick, and guest star Steven. What's going on, guys?
Steven.
Yo. Hey.
It has been a fucking week. I know that. This is like, and it was all capped off today. I think I had to run to the store about 75 times today to get some things that my executive chef didn't order, and Steven was fighting with a dishwasher for most of his day. And yeah, that was about it. How was your week, Isaac?
Sorry, I was typing notes.
Okay, all right, good.
Pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty good. Yeah, I have to type notes as the editor when things happen.
I don't really like that your week was good, to be honest.
Yeah,
It kind of pisses me out too.
Nothing
Yeah,
crazy
a little bit.
happened.
A little
Nothing
bit.
crazy happened. Is this crazy stuff supposed to happen?
No, I just it was
What?
watching Steven wave away his child.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, how are you, Letty?
How are you?
We guess we have another guest star coming in.
I guess we have another guest. So, I mean,
Yeah, this is Steven's child, his youngest, right? Your youngest?
Yeah, the boss.
Nice. Yeah, she controls
Yeah.
everything.
Oh, yeah.
Epic. What about you,
Hi.
man?
Horrible week. The first part of the week was good. I went down to Virginia Beach for a couple days for work at Newport, one of our clients down there. Hung out with my other cousin, Aaron, while I was down there. He, went in for some surgery yesterday. So, shout out to him. Hopefully he's recovering good, and prayers for a good recovery there. But man, Friday sucked horrible.
Really? Why?
It was the worst day, dude. Like everything went wrong, like work wise. It was crazy. Everything that could have caught fire Friday caught fire.
Really?
So, yeah.
Mama, can you be quiet?
But today's a different day.
Mama,
Yeah.
be quiet, please, okay?
Maybe.
Today's a different day.
It's Saturday.
Jose, how was your week, man?
My week?
Yeah.
It was horrible, man. I don't know what something's wrong with the universe or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of those. It's been that week for sure.
Yeah,
What
man.
did you ever figure out what was wrong with that dishwasher? You were really fighting with it for a while today.
It's not the fact that I was figuring it out. It's the fact that I was trying to fix it, and then I get called 3 million ways. You know what I mean? So
Oh, yeah.
every time I turn a screwdriver, Jose, screwdriver, Jose. You know, it's
Jose,
like, yo.
this light bulb's out.
Yeah, oh, there's no hot water. I'm like, what? All right, so I go up there and the temperature is 110. And I'm thinking to myself, how you have not hot water? Come on now, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, did
And
you
that
even
and
test it?
at the same time, we have aides trying to let memory care patients out of the wing and walk freely on their own outside of the building. That type of
Oh.
shit. So
Yeah.
it's always like an eventful MOD, especially when it's just me and Jose for some reason. We didn't even get a chance to play Fortnite today. Really, we
No,
played
no,
one
we
game.
did. And what happened in that one game?
We won. We won.
Damn right.
We got our like four. What is your hat? Brixton. What is Brixton?
ADHD much? What? Brixton
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Manufacturing Company clothing.
Yeah.
It's a big clothing brand out in California. They're really good. They do a lot of ski gear,
Yeah.
board gear, shit like that.
What are you drinking, Patrick?
I am drinking the Kraken. It's a 94 proof rum, really decent.
I know Kraken. Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking up on the rumfinder.com trying to figure out a really good rum to buy because
Yeah.
apparently I'm going to become an alcoholic. So I want to make sure I get the right stuff if I'm going to do that.
You do like your spiced rum.
I do. That's my thing, right? Like
Yeah.
like Jack and Coke or
Yeah.
rum and Coke. In this case, rum and Diet Pepsi was all I had.
Okay.
So
So-
it's not Coke.
Let's backtrack there. Wait. There's a website where you can just choose rum or what's going on here? Let's talk about that.
Well, it's just a rating, right?
Yeah.
It's
What's
a
it
bunch
called?
of people, fellow alcoholics. Apparently, they get on. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not an alcoholic.
I am an alcoholic.
Depends on the
that's
week.
thing. Yeah, I'm an alcoholic, dude. I need to know this type of things, man.
Yeah. So, but go on there. There's like really good ones, and you'll be surprised. Like the really expensive ones aren't always rated towards the top. Um,
Though,
there a
what's the
lot of the
website?
ones that are mid range are pretty affordable. Like this one was 50, 60. I don't know, but it's a big bottle. So, and I was trying to find. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. It's from Puerto Rico. I don't know. It looked really good. I gotta find it though. But yeah, go on there. I think it was rumfinder.com. Not to be confused with Adult Friend Finder. Yeah, that's it.
That was one of my favorite websites.
Yeah. Oh, it's always good. The
What a
the
Oh,
40-year-old
sorry,
guy down the street, well, it was his too, and unfortunately, I might have matched with him before I got married. Just kidding. Just kidding.
All right, all right,
Um,
all right.
what are you drinking, Isaac?
I have water.
Oh, good, healthy. Steven, do you have like tea or something?
It's just some coffee, man. Some coffee.
Coffee. It's like 10 o'clock at night.
You're not
Yeah,
sleeping
no.
for 2 days now, dude. How old are
I
you?
know.
Huh?
How
I'm
old are
20.
you?
I'm 22.
Oh hell,
He's not
drink.
20.
You should have a Red Bull. What's your problem?
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. We're gonna dive into this here. What do you know about lighthouses?
About what was it?
Lighthouses.
They're pretty.
They're pretty. Okay, Isaac. What do you know about lighthouses?
There's the subject of one of my favorite brand new songs.
Okay. All right. Esteban, did you work a lighthouse while you lived in El Salvador?
You
Or you
funny.
didn't live in El Salvador?
Huh,
Or
you
went over
funny.
there?
Yeah,
So,
coast.
what I know about lighthouses is that's where Aquaman was born in. He was
Okay,
born in a
all right.
lighthouse.
In El Salvador, their
Yeah.
lighthouses are actually a stick with a flashlight on top. Sometimes a flashlight if you're real lucky.
And we've
Wait.
lost all 4 of our El Salvador subscribers.
Man, we're gonna have to remove a lot of background noise in this one, Isaac.
Mija, go upstairs.
Okay. Anyway, Jose, I have you muted for just a second while you're taking care of that. I will unmute you in a moment. All right, gentlemen. Lighthouses.
They're spooky, dude. They're scary, and
They're
I think
spooky.
I know where you're going with this because I listen to a lot of weird stuff, and this is a freaky story. If I know where you're
It
going,
is. You probably do know where I'm going. And I believe the movie The Lighthouse was kind of based loosely on this story with Willem Dafoe. Have you guys ever seen that one?
I have.
Maybe.
I
don't know.
am a massive William Dafoe fan lately. I mean, he's always been great, right? But
He's so good, totally underrated too. Like in everything.
and like I said, he just like wanders onto sets, and they're like, "Oh yeah, be in this movie," because it seems like he's in everything lately. Yeah, so this is a story about a lighthouse. So, without further ado, gentlemen and a Stephen, let me once again take you back in history. This time to 1900 Scotland, where people can vanish without a trace. I call this tale The Vanishing of the Flannan Isles Lighthouse Keepers. Cue scary music.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, so this is another story that I heard, and I started looking into it more, and it's actually it's kind of creepy. There's again, like we talked about last night with the Solder children, or last week with the Solder children, and the axe murderers. There's probably plausible explanations to what happened, but just the circumstances and everything surrounding it. Epic, is this the story you thought it was going to be? The Flannan
No,
Isle?
no,
Oh,
but I literally just opened a page, and it might be even spookier. So
Yeah. Okay. So tonight we've got one of the creepiest real unsolved disappearances in history. You guys know I don't really like ghost stories. I don't like, I like getting into creepy stuff, but I like to do real stuff that's happened. And remains unsolved to this day. So I have like a list of like 20 of these that I want to get through. So anytime you guys need me to take over and pick up a topic, I got them ready to go. So
Appreciate
no true crime, no aliens, maybe, no monsters, maybe. Depends on what you think by the end of this. Just 3 men who vanished from a locked island lighthouse with no sign of where they went, and the only clues they left behind are weird. Really weird. This is the story, like I said, of Flannan Isles lighthouse keepers. Our story takes place off the west coast of Scotland. These remote, jagged rocks known as the Flannan Isles. No people, no trees, just cliffs, ocean, and the wind that screams like it's alive. I also want to say my sources for this was a great website. I forget what it's called now, and a lot of Reddit, and one of the podcasts that I listen to. The Flannan Isles, sometimes called the Seven Hunters, are a small archipelago about 20 miles west of the Isle of Lewis in Scotland's Outer Hebrides. Eilean Mor, which means Big Island, is roughly 38 acres in size, was chosen as the site for this lighthouse due to its elevation and strategic position. The Northern Lighthouse Board, NLB, sought to improve safety for ships navigating the treacherous North Atlantic waters in the region. After receiving approval from the Board of Trade in 1896, construction of the lighthouse commenced in the late 1890s. The project was led by engineer David Allen Stevenson, a member of the famous Stevenson family, also from El Salvador, of Scottish lighthouse designers building such a structure on sheer cliffs. So this would be about 200 feet above sea level. Was an impressive feat of engineering. All materials, bricks, cement, and the lantern apparatus, and even rails for a supply tramway had to be delivered by boat and hauled up steep cliffs by crane and a temporary tram system. Despite the formidable logistics, the 75-foot tall white tower was completed and first lit on December 7th, 1899. Its light, originally produced by a burning paraffin lamp, was visible for about 20 nautical miles and flashed in a distinctive pattern, about 2 flashes every 30 seconds, to warn ships off the hazardous shoals. At the base of the tower, living quarters and storage rooms were constructed, enclosed by a walled compound to protect against the wind and waves. A small railway with a winch was installed to connect the 2 landing points on the island, east and west, to the lighthouse, facilitating the lifting of supplies from boats. Additionally, a shore station was built on the Isle of Lewis at Brestcleat. Almost sounds like Brest. This was a cluster of houses where off-duty lighthouse keepers and their families lived, and where relief crews would await deployment. Like kind of like Quantico. Like everybody lives out there that works at Quantico, right? The Marine base type of thing. Isaac, have you ever been to Quantico? Like you have to like go through some stuff to even go into Quantico, right?
It's a base. It's a full-on Marine base. Yeah, you have to go through the gates and all that. Yeah.
I pulled in there by accident.
Yeah. If you drive down that road, just all of a sudden you're at the gates. Yep.
The worst. They all look at you. They got their guns ready.
Yeah.
Yep. So early operation, the lighthouse was staffed by a rotating crew of 3 men on station and 1 off on leave at any given time. Life as a Flannan Isles keeper was rugged and lonely. The men would spend weeks at the lighthouse, then rotate home for break periods. Communication with the outside world was initially minimal. In 1900, there were no radios yet, only like wireless telegraphy. Whoever's making that noise, I'm going to cut you off.
Yeah, there's some serious like
as Steven right now.
Well, there's wind in yours too. I don't know what's going on. It's almost like we're at a lighthouse up on a hill.
Now I lost my spot. In the 1900s, there were no radios. Instead, the keepers' only regular contact came from a supply and relief visits. NLB policy scheduled relief runs approximately every 2 weeks, weather permitting. A lighthouse tender ship, such as the Hesperus, would bring fresh supplies, mail, and a relief keeper, and take the man who had finished his rotation back to the shore. So I guess they just rotate out one every time, right?
Yeah. It's a
These
lonely life.
Yeah, these visits were crucial not just for logistics, but also for the morale of the isolated keepers. Despite the challenges in its first year of operation, the Flannan Isles Lighthouse performed its duty effectively, guiding vessels safely past the remote islands. Contemporary accounts noted the brilliance of its beam and the necessity of its presence in a region prone to violent Atlantic storms and strong currents. Everything seemed to be running as expected, though, 1899 and most of 1900. However, unbeknownst to anyone, the toughest trial for the new lighthouse and its keepers was yet to come. So, on this island right now, we had James Ducat, the head keeper, older, calm dude. Thomas Marshall, assistant, younger, reliable. And Donald MacArthur, he was a temporary stand-in. I don't think he was actually supposed to be there. I think he was there because somebody was sick. Fiery personality, former soldier, that type of thing.
With awesome mustaches.
Awesome mustaches, all of them. These guys were really tough. The job was brutal. The isolation, endless storms, and cliffside walkways that could literally kill you if you slipped once, and it's I guess this manly men, right?
How long were they out there at a time?
Oh boy, they're relief runs every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So I mean, I guess it would be probably the relief person comes every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I have a question coming up for you guys, so Epic, if you could pull that down. So I guess the rotation would be 6 weeks then, if one is coming every 2 weeks to relieve one person, or would it be 4 weeks? I'm not good at math. I think you're the math person.
There's 4 people.
There's 3 people.
Three people.
So you're
At a
on
time
2,
at
off
the
4.
lighthouse. Yeah. Okay, so every 4 weeks they would come and relieve one person. Okay. Esteban, do you think you could do this job?
Hell
people,
no.
No
Fuck
internet,
no.
storms 24/7.
No, man.
If you did do the job, how long do you think you could last?
Realistically speaking, I would say maybe a week max.
And you're not allowed to masturbate either. That's awful.
No. See, no. It's over. It's over. It's
24
over.
hours.
Nah, 12 hours max. That's it.
Yeah, 12
8 hour
hours max.
shift. 8 hour
I
shift.
think
Nah, what the
you
hell?
think you can do this, man?
Yes.
Do you really? Well,
Yeah.
You're crazy. You thrive off isolation.
Yeah, I would be fine.
What about you, Epic?
I'd probably go mad, but back then, I guess I could do it, no problem. It sure beats the alternative jobs. But yeah, that's a cold, stormy place.
Yeah, and you got to think there's got to be some weird shit that you hear at night and stuff too.
Oh God, have you seen Stephen King's where the fog rolls in?
Oh yeah, the fog or the mist, right? The mist.
The mist, that's all I can imagine with this, being out there alone, and all of a sudden this.
Yeah, no, I don't like it. This is right up there with the Nutty Putty Cave for me.
Yeah,
a little less bad, but
Well,
all right.
But like you said, but it's that time frame though. You know what I mean? If we talking about now, or we talking about when we're over there? You know what I mean? In that time frame, I think that'd be different.
Now we have
stories.
robots and shit that do it for us.
I mean, we have the internet, we have all that shit. You know what I mean? So I mean, can you do that now? No, I wouldn't want to do that now. But if I was back in the day, then yeah, it's probably gonna be something easy to do.
And they probably made 10 cents back in the day, which was $1 million for them, right?
There you go.
you buy a house.
Let's fast forward to December 1900. The lighthouse is manned, fully operational, but then ships passing by noticed something odd. The lighthouse was dark. There was no light. Dun, 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 dun.
Dark house.
Which,
Dark house?
defeats the whole purpose of a lighthouse, right? This should never happen. It's the only guide through a deadly stretch of water. Ships were crashing over each other and shit. December 26th, a relief ship, the Hesperus, finally reaches the island. If they see something wrong with the lighthouse, if the weather's not right, they're not getting out there to figure out what's going on. So they had to wait for the weather to die down or something. Hesperus finally reaches the island. They blow the horn, nothing. They fire a flare, nothing. That's when they knew something was wrong. We talked about the Hesperus finally arrived. We're going to go a little detail about that. The ship had originally planned to reach the lighthouse a few days earlier, but stormy seas forced postponement. As Hesperus approached Island Moore around noon on the 26th, the crew grew concerned. No flag was flying at the flagstaff. Normally, keepers would hoist a flag to signal the tender, and no one appeared at the landing to welcome them. The lighthouse's lamp was also off. Even though it was daytime, the light should always be on from the previous night. Captain James Harvey of the Hesperus sounded the ship's horn and sent up a warning rocket to draw attention, but there was no response from the shore. Sensing that something was amiss, Harvey dispatched the relief keeper, Joseph Moore, who I feel bad for this guy. He's like, yeah, just go check it out, see what's going on. Well, we just kind of hang back here. Alone on a dinghy to investigate the lighthouse. When I don't know why that word.
Because we're 14 years old.
Yeah. When Moore reached the island and hiked up the steep steps to the compound, he found the entrance gate and main door closed.
Wait, closed from the outside?
Everything was closed. Everything was closed up. It's, the compound doors, everything. Nothing was.
Ooh, zoinks.
No in or out. If somebody had left, the doors would be open. He reaches the door. It's closed but unlocked. Inside, the bed's untouched. The clock had stopped. The lamps were filled, ready to use, and the rain gear was missing, but only 2 sets of it. The kitchen table held plates of food and utensils as if a meal had been prepared or interrupted. A chair had been knocked over on the floor. The clock on the wall had stopped, suggesting it hadn't been wound for several days. Most tellingly, like I said, the 3 oilskin raincoats that the keepers wore for foul weather were missing except for one. One set of outdoor gear remained hanging on its peg, implying that at least one of the keepers had left the lighthouse without proper protection against the elements. Given the gale conditions that week, this was a strong sign of an emergency.
So this is all in a gale force storm and winds and.
Yes and no. We'll get into that a little bit.
Okay.
On land, weather was really shitty. I don't think towards the lighthouse it was as bad for whatever reason. We'll go into that in a little bit about the weather.
Aliens.
Patrick, wait, this question I wrote for Isaac. Isaac,
I think it
if
went
you
crazy.
walked into the lighthouse and it was silent like that, what would be the first thing that you think happened?
Wait, I have a. So
ahead.
there's 3 people there at a time now. I thought you were by yourself.
I
No,
thought
it's
you
3
had
people.
one.
It's a 3-person
so-
job.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
one person rotates out.
So you're there with 3 other dudes for this time? I thought it was.
Yeah.
You're there with 2 other dudes, and
Yeah,
then
I'm not
one
fucking doing
dude
that.
comes out and relieves one of them. And
Yeah.
That dude goes and rests, and then that dude comes back and relieves another one.
Yeah.
So Esteban, you get your masturbation time every couple of weeks.
Yeah. You just, sometimes you
That's
get help.
weird though. That's actually
So
weird.
There's supposed to be three guys here. Two sets
Yep.
of the outdoor gear is gone. One's still hanging there.
Mm-hmm.
So why wouldn't there at least be one person still inside?
Correct.
Should be.
That
One
is the
inside.
question.
This
Yeah.
is my theory. I think one of them went cuckoo, right? Went out into the storm thinking like, hey, I'm gonna end this shit. I'm gonna do it. Fuck this. My wife cheated on me. You know, that fucking whore. You know, went out there and like, I'm gonna end it. And then they try to save him, followed him, like, no, don't do this, Jimmy. Don't fuck up. You know, blah blah blah. You have much to live for. And then the storm came in and just swooped them all away.
All of them?
That's my
well,
theory.
can
That's
you
my
save
theory.
it for theory section there, Steven?
Oh, I didn't know. I thought we were, you know.
What would you? Well, that's what you would think if you walked in. Obviously, Epic. What would you think?
Suicide.
Yeah.
Suicide. Mass suicide pact. People hanging from the top of the lighthouse.
Okay.
We are into suicide
Creepy
pacts
shit.
lately.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
they're not hanging though. They didn't see them.
Wearing those freaking joggers with Nike shoes, just hanging
Oh my
from
god. Oh my god. So I was at
That's-
Target today, and there was someone walking in front of me with like pink skin tight shorts on and left nothing to the imagination. And like I pretty much followed her for about 1.5 miles until she
Stop,
called the
yes.
police. And then while I was at the store, a 900-year-old man backed into my car. Then he was mad because I called him Skeletor, but there was no damage, so I left it. So whatever. It was a day.
Skeletor. Ha!
So when investigators searched deeper, they found the lighthouse's logbook, and things got weird fast. Here are some of the entries from the assistant keeper Thomas Marshall. Severe storm. Ducat is very quiet. MacArthur is crying. Storm's worse than anything he's seen. Prayers from all three men. And MacArthur crying is strange. The dude was ex-military, tough, known for fights. The last guy you'd picture like getting like that.
PTSD. Yep. Exactly.
So even stranger, as we just touched on, Epic, there were no storms in the area of the lighthouse during these days. Nearby ships logged calm weather. So why did they write that?
Yeah, why did they write that?
Were they seeing something else no one could? A freak storm that somehow only touched the lighthouse? Or were they terrified of something else entirely? The final entry in the logbook simply read, "Storm ended, sea calm, God is over all." What's up?
What kind of gas were they using? Obviously, it's not,
don't know.
pipe gas. So what kind of
I don't
gas
know.
were they?
Mm.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah.
Leave it to the fucking engineer to think of shit like that.
Yeah, he's like, oh, gas leak right away.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, who knows? That's a good one, man. I never even
Yeah.
thought of that.
Like, did they change the ingredients of what they're using to light those?
Yeah, they're huffing candles out there.
You
That's
never
right.
know, dude. You never know. Iron. Also, think about iron.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
I've never huffed iron, but
You never know. You never know.
So, storm ended, sea calm, God is over all, and then nothing more. That was the last of the logbook, and the men were never seen alive again. Epic, these men wrote about a massive storm, but records show calm weather. What do you think that means? Were they lying, scared, or hallucinating?
I think they got to be hallucinating or some sort of mental distress. But what if there was like a freak wave or something that hit them? Like if they're freaking out already, and they see the storms kind of died down in their head because everything's wearing off. They all go out to like praise God or whatever with their things, and a freak wave hits them.
However, if they were under those circumstances where they were just going out and being like, oh, praise Allah or whatever, whoever
not
they're
back
saying
then.
praising,
Wrong area.
you would think that all three of them would wear their conditioned gear, right?
Well, if
And
the
not leave
storm's
one of them
over,
behind.
If the
Yeah, but
storm's
still,
over,
at a lighthouse in the middle of the sea, you would wear your raincoat. Like you're
Well,
always gonna get wet.
my thing is like how if it's a mental issue, right? How would all
Mhm.
three of them have the same mental issue? You know what I mean?
Well, we're
okay,
gonna
You,
get into some theories.
okay, you just hit on it. So if one of them had a mental breakdown, ran out without his gear on,
Mm-hmm.
the other two grab their gear because they're sane, tried to get
Mm-hmm.
to him, and yeah, the storm is over except for what's left. Freak waves hits them, all gone.
Okay. So let's get into some more details. The relief crew kept searching for days. They checked the western side of the island, a place with even larger waves and cliffs, and that's where they found more clues. Pieces of equipment was bent, a box broken apart, and a massive iron railing twisted and bent out of a rock, like something huge tore it away. Um, the first theory at the time was what Epic was saying: a massive wave hit while the men were trying to secure equipment. Two of them were swept away. The third saw it happen and ran out without grabbing his raincoat, and he was taken too. But here's the problem. Why were the two sets of gear missing and not all three? Why were there no bodies? Why were the beds untouched? And why would all three leave the lighthouse when regulations required at least one man to stay inside at all times, even in the event of an emergency? None
Bed
of
thing?
it.
Sorry, but the bed thing would be easy to explain, right? Because back then, military guys, they make their bed when they wake up.
yeah,
Yes, but not all of them were military.
But
yeah.
the other
But
guy
then,
probably harped on the other people.
Could
yep.
be. But at the end of the day, we'll never know.
Hmm.
None of
No,
it lines up.
my
Yeah?
cousin is that way. My cousin he's in the military, and every time we chill or like we go somewhere, yo, you have to go on his rules. You know what I'm saying? You have to do everything that he says. So I mean, like pretty much, if he makes his bed at 5 o'clock in the morning, then you have to make your shit the same way. So I believe, hey, what Patrick is saying, I think it's true.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to the theories. The disappearance of the Flannan Lighthouse Keepers has given rise to numerous theories, ranging from reasonable to fanciful. Um, Here are the main explanations. We're probably going to start with the most plausible one and then get down to some ridiculous ones. Enormous waves and a tragic accident is the official explanation that was logged. The explanation favored the 1901 official inquiry, and by most historians, since it is the one outlined above, all three keepers were swept away by one or more giant waves during a storm. This theory is supported by concrete evidence, the significant storm damage observed at the West Landing, and the fact that two sets of rain gear were taken away or taken out and one was left behind. It also aligns with the men's sense of duty. A keeper's log shows that Second Assistant Thomas Marshall had previously been fined for losing equipment in a prior gale, which might explain why he and Ducat were particularly keen to secure the gear, even in bad weather. Oceanographers note that rogue waves, while rare, are a real phenomenon in the North Atlantic, capable of forming without warning and reaching great heights. The geography of Island Moore's west side, facing the open ocean, makes it vulnerable to heavy seas. Thus, the official scenario remains highly credible. Two keepers tending to an emergency outdoors, and the third coming to help, all tragically caught by a freak wave. The main drawback of this theory is that it relies on a perfect storm of circumstances and leaves a haunting absence of any bodies, direct witnesses, though I don't know why there would be direct witnesses out there. Nevertheless, given the lack of any contrary evidence, it stands as the most logical and science-based explanation. Kind of like we were getting into with the Dyatlov Pass, the most logical explanation would be that slab avalanche, right? The slab one.
Yeah, which is weird. That was weird too.
Yeah. Second theory, mishap or injury followed by a chain reaction. A slight variation on the accident theory suggests that perhaps one keeper might have accidentally fallen into the sea. For example, being knocked over by a smaller wave or slipping on the wet rocks, and the others perished in the course of attempting to rescue. In such a scenario, one man could have been taken by the water unexpectedly, and the remaining two, in a desperate effort to save him, also got too close to the sea and were swept away. This idea fits with human nature and the close bonds of the lighthouse crews. If one man was in peril, the others would not hesitate to risk themselves to help. It's essentially a subset of the broad accident at the landing hypothesis, with the difference that the initiating event might have been a fall or a smaller wave rather than one giant surge. However, like the rogue wave theory, it ultimately attributes the cause to severe weather and the treacherous environment, and similarly suffers from the lack of survivors to recount what happens. Again, I agree with you guys. That's what I'm leaning more towards, the rogue wave or whatever. It's just the way that the lighthouse was set up was just very strange.
Dude, so the lighthouse is 110 feet above sea level.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's
there
a
were
lot.
buoys. The life buoy was torn off the ropes, along with everything smashed. Like 110 feet.
Yeah, that's massive. So, and I don't know. I don't really see a 110-foot wave, especially in Scotland, right?
It
Scotland's
was
not known.
freaking Nessie.
Yeah, Loch
Oh,
Ness.
good.
That's what I was
Loch
going to
Ness,
say.
Yeah. The next theory, what, Stephen? Are you gonna let me get through these theories or what, man?
I feel like I'm in English class all over again. But mermaids.
Exactly.
Sirens.
Fucking exactly.
Oh,
Yes.
I would probably swim out there for that.
That's what it
Oh,
was in
man.
the Lighthouse movie, I think. Mermaids,
Mm.
I think. Violence among the keepers, fight or murder suicide. In the absence of clear evidence, some early speculations turned inward, wondering if human conflict led to the men's disappearance. One theory posits, oh my god, I can't speak, that an argument or violent altercation broke out between the keepers, perhaps fueled by stress, isolation, or some personal issue, like two of the men sleeping with each other and not including the third. Resulting in a fight that spiraled out of control. Because William MacArthur was known from past service to have a hot temper and a history of fistfights, some have cast him in the role of the antagonist.
Yeah, he didn't make his freaking bed, so he went out. He went on a rampage.
It's imagined that a
bed.
fight on the cliffs could have caused all three to fall to their deaths, or that MacArthur might have harmed Ducat and Marshall and then, racked with guilt or fearing punishment, thrown himself into the sea. This lurid theory adds drama to the tale but lacks any supporting evidence. The careful search of the island found no signs of struggle, no blood, no damage inside that suggested a brawl, and no other clues pointing to violence. The keepers were all experienced and had served together for quite some time. While conflicts could happen in such close quarters, it's speculative to assume that it ended in lethal fury. Moreover, the environment outside showed clear signs of storm damage, not a human fight. While it's not impossible that interpersonal violence occurred, there is nothing beyond conjecture to support it. Most historians regard this scenario as an intriguing but unproven idea, likely born from the human tendency to find dramatic narratives.
All right.
Two more to get through. Two more theories. External foul play or escape. Other less plausible ideas suggest something beyond the island might have been responsible. For instance, one hypothesis floated in the newspapers was a foreign ships, perhaps pirates, invaders, spies, landed secretly and abducted or killed the lighthouse keepers. Another notion was that the men decided to desert their post and start a life together in El Salvador. Some have even suggested that they were victims of a ghost ship or pirates. Those theories do not hold up under scrutiny. There was again no reports of suspicious vessels in the area, and again no sign of struggle. Additionally, all their personal effects and valuables were left behind, and no boat was missing. Their only boat was found secured.
That's
Given
what I was
the-
going to ask.
Yep. Given the fierce weather at the time, an unauthorized landing by evildoers, that's a fun word, or secret departure by the keepers themselves would have been extremely unlikely.
Yeah. And they wouldn't have bent
Finally-
all that stuff, dude.
What?
They wouldn't have bent all that stuff and
No,
broke
no.
everything. Yeah.
Finally, the supernatural or mythical explanation, which is this is the one I'm going with. As the Flannan Isle mystery entered popular lore, increasingly fantastical explanations have been proposed. These include claims of a sea serpent or giant seabird snatched the men away, or that some malevolent supernatural force, like a ghost or fairy folk from old island legends, was at work. The desolate environment of the Flannan Isles, which even has an old stone chapel ruin on the island, fueled imaginative tales of otherworldly retribution or curses. Again, this is dumb, but this is how it's written. While these ideas make for captivating storytelling, there's no evidence to support paranormal, obviously. The lighthouse keeper's disappearance is best explained by real physical dangers rather than mythical creatures. When critically evaluating all these theories, maritime historians tend to agree that the simplest explanation, a fatal accident caused by severe weather, is the most convincing and plausible. The environment around the Isles is inherently dangerous. The men had a duty to confront that danger as part of their jobs, and they had clear evidence of a storm-related emergency at the West Landing with all the bent equipment. The lack of any human crime evidence further tilts the balance towards a natural disaster rather than human malice. In the end, the exact circumstances will never be known with absolute certainty. Just a couple notes here, and then I have a couple questions for you guys, and then we're going to wrap it up. Where have I just lost my spot? Giant rogue wave. This is the official theory, blah, blah, blah. But why were the men outside? Why were the logs describing storms that never happened? The murder-suicide, some believe one man snapped, but the logs didn't show conflict, they show fear. And all three disappearing without a trace doesn't match a murder scene. A fourth person, some think a stranger came in the island, a sailor, criminal, but there's no evidence. And the island is surrounded by caves. Actually, this says the island is surrounded by caves where someone can hide. And some fishermen swore they saw a stranger on the island days before. This place is ancient. Local had legends about spirits, giants, little people. I don't think you're supposed to say that. Or you can't say midget, right?
And little people.
Yeah, giants and little people. Yeah.
Wow.
Curses in the island being in a place where the veil between realms is thin. Some people point to the log entries, fear, praying, hallucinated storms, and think something supernatural scared them out of the lighthouse. Do we think that's real? No, but it's part of the legend. Another plausible explanation that they I'm just going to touch on briefly. This also harkens back to Dyatlov Pass, infrasound. Under certain weather conditions, the wind around the cliffs creates low-frequency vibrations, infrasound that can cause panic, dread, hallucinations, the feeling of being watched, and irrational behavior. I thought, because we talked about that with Dyatlov too, that was kind of interesting because we know that can happen. And it's been documented in other lighthouse cases for the, that kind of behavior.
You said something though. You said there was ruins of a church on that island already?
Yes, there was. Yes, there was.
in the middle of the North Atlantic and Scotland, like Scotland.
Yep.
Who the hell is building churches on a deserted island? Like, there's something weird going. Like, just think back. Like, there's something weird.
But Scottish people are highly Catholic. So I mean,
Yeah.
Okay.
these guys will be rotating, and they probably
So-
want to be a church there.
Yes, right. They rotate and they wanna
You know,
pray,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
But
this
also,
wasn't.
my question is: did any of these men have any debt or anything of that nature, or insurance possibly that could have
Nope.
been? So if they died, they would have their families wouldn't get no insurance money or nothing like that.
Nope. It was these guys were pretty upstanding guys. They weren't in trouble. They weren't having money issues. From as far as I could read about them, they
Right.
mentioned it briefly in one article. But to wrap this up, imagine 3 isolated men, days of fear and a noise they can't hear but can feel, making them anxious. Maybe one panics, runs outside, and the others follow. That is like one of the more scientifically grounded explanations, the infrasound, that I'm actually leaning more towards. The chilling final detail. There's one more thing that's a little bit strange. When the relief crew left the island, they had to restart the lighthouse. The new keepers kept logs as required. And one of the new keepers wrote something that has haunted the story ever since. And it reads as follows: I am starting to believe that the other keepers were right. This island feels wrong. There's something here with us. And that's it. He didn't elaborate, and the entry was quickly removed from the reports. And today, the island remains uninhabited.
I don't know, man. That's creepy.
So, the one thing that you mentioned earlier about the chair being flipped and the uneaten meal, suggesting the men vanished like super suddenly. We know there was some sort of storm or some sort of damage to most of the backside of the island or
Right.
front side. So we know that happened.
But then other ships are saying that that didn't happen.
Yeah, but how would that all get twisted? Like, that doesn't happen unless there's something major. So,
Mermaids. Sirens.
merman?
Merman could be, yeah, if that's your cup of tea. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Well,
Who
they
knows,
have
man?
to climb out of the water somehow and twist the railing 100 feet up. And then,
Who knows? Isaac, what's your theory? What are you
Where
leaning
was
more
that
towards?
last note found? It wasn't in their like other journal with the other stuff.
Yeah,
right?
it was. It was the end of the logbook. I
Okay.
saved that one for the end for dramatic effect.
Okay. My other question was, I assume they already checked all this, but are there dates on these log entries?
Yes.
So it all
I don't know what
line
they
up.
are. I didn't write them down, and I'm
Yeah.
probably not going to look it up.
Yeah, I just wanted to like see like the end of the log.
But they were sequential.
Yeah, yeah. I just didn't know if it was like they were old like log entries that hadn't been updated because the weather thing wasn't matching. So I was trying to figure that out.
Right.
But-
That's the part that really confused me is that
Yeah.
it seems to contradict itself in a few areas about the weather. Whether
Yeah.
it's weather, whether it's the ships were wrong or whatever it may be.
Yeah,
I don't
well,
really-
how close were these ships? Maybe the ships. I mean, maybe it was storming where they were, and they were just in a different part. You know,
Right.
you
yeah,
just
the
don't
ships
know.
could have been coming in, right? Like,
Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
were never going to be right up on the lighthouse anyway, right? 'Cause,
Yeah.
it's going to be jagged rocks, and you don't want to snag the ship on one of those.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
two sets of gear gone. A flipped over chair, food there. It's easy. These two dudes, they're okay, right? Let's check this, right? So they're all chilling, gonna make some dinner, like whatever. So they all sit down for dinner, and they hear this noise and all this rumbling. And they're like, "What the hell?" The ghosts are going crazy again. So They flip their chair. The two dudes are like, I'm going to fight this ghost. They get ready and they go out in gear and they get hit by a rogue wave. And the other guy's like, oh crap, they just got pulled out to sea. I'm going to go save them. Runs out.
I get it.
Bam.
I love it. You
you
solved it, bro.
A rogue wave over 100 feet though? Well, how many feet?
Though Isaac did just send me that there, it could, I guess, rogue waves could get up to 100 feet.
Really?
Those are brand new lyrics.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but why would they say something that's not wrong?
Because it
That's
sounds good in a
crazy.
song.
Okay, let's Stephen, what's your theory?
I already said my theory. I think.
We'll say it again. now
Well,
that
all right,
everybody's
no. On a realistically note, I think that they probably changed some type of chemical within their products
Okay.
to start the equipment, and I think it's like a gas leak. I think they just all whiffed it. They all went started hallucinating and
Okay.
went batshit crazy and just jumped and like start because when you're hallucinating, you're gonna hit things. You're gonna
Okay.
break things. You're gonna think that that's where it's coming from or whatever. And then before you know it, you just jump over a cliff.
Yeah, and they also say, I'm looking it up, they say rogue waves are usually around 65 feet.
So it is 100.
Yeah, but okay, but the
Yes.
thing is 110 foot above sea level. So
Right.
if the thing goes all the way down the cliff, so if like maybe half of it was taken out, right? We don't know. It's
I also want to answer your question, Jose. It was a carbide lamp or acetylene gas lamp, which is a simple lamp that produces and burns acetylene, whatever that is,
Acetylene?
C2H2,
Yes,
which is created by a reaction of calcium carbide and water. Acetylene gas lamps were also used to illuminate buildings as lighthouses and beacons. Blah blah blah. I don't. What? Can someone look up the danger of acetylene gas real quick?
fire.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not sure. I don't know. His Jose, you could be right.
Could have been in the food too,
Yeah.
Maybe there's something there.
Acetylene gas danger. Acetylene is highly flammable and unstable, posing significant risks of explosion. Blah blah blah. Asphyxiation risk. Acetylene can displace oxygen in the air, leading to asphyxiation, particularly in confined spaces. Symptoms of exposure:
Hey.
dizziness, headache, severe cases, unconsciousness, or death.
hallucination.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to dig too much into acetylene right now, but yeah, could be, I guess.
I should be a detective, dog. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah. And I also heard something the other day. It has nothing to do with this. Nothing
But
to do with this case. Have you guys ever heard of the Call of the Deep? No,
It's like Call of Duty.
kind of. Yeah. So
that a porno?
there's this documented thing called Call of the Deep, where kind of like when you're standing on a building, you think about jumping, right?
Yeah.
So there was this. I think the sea is 10 times scarier than space or anything that's up there. It's been documented that there is the Call of the Deep. When divers start going down, something tells them to keep going, right? Like keep swimming down. There was a diving instructor with a bunch of his students, and one of his students started just swimming down and taking off his gear, like shedding his gear, everything. And the instructor is trying to get him to stop, like pull him back. And he said, the student actually just fought him the entire time, turned around, smiling at him, and just kept going and died.
wow,
They
that's
never
crazy.
found his body, and it's happened a few times. There was another case where a guy kept swimming down and just got completely naked and just kept going down. And it has a scientific explanation. Like it releases something in your brain that makes you feel kind of drunk, so that might make you think that you could swim further when you can't. I just thought it was creepy.
It is.
Yeah.
We
So
we only discovered like 3% of the ocean, right? Like
Yeah.
that's all we have discovered. Dude,
Yeah,
there's
so-
probably a whole different world that you know
ocean's
could
scary
be.
as shit.
Oh hell yeah, man.
Yeah, I would
Ocean is
never, I
hella
would never
scary.
mess around with it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the lighthouse story. I have one more for you guys, not tonight, obviously.
What was Isaac? What was your final thoughts
The
on
theory.
that theory?
Yeah, anywhere from 1 to 3 guys found themselves in some kind of emergency situation, and the remaining 1 to 2 guys tried to help. They'll
Don't
get.
be plausible, Isaac.
Yeah, that was a
I want to
downer.
go back. I want to go back to the fact that apparently fishermen saw that one guy on the island though. Could this be?
There's no other information other than that. I think that's more hearsay than anything.
Yeah, but what if, right? What if it was
Right.
like a Dexter scenario where this guy just, like I don't know, just taped everything around and just started murdering and just threw him over the cliff.
I
And
wish
then
I
cleaned
had
up,
an answer.
cleaned it up. That's crazy, right? That'd be crazy. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So I have no idea. I wish I had an answer. I'm not gonna go with the Rogue Wave, and I'm gonna go with the infrasound. I think fucked them up. Either that or the gas, like Jose was saying. I didn't think of that before, and I think that's a great, theory. Yeah, it was the next one for you guys. I have. Sorry, I'm trying to look it up real quick. The next major episode is going to be Epic's turn. And our next movie episode was Isaac's pick, correct?
Yes.
Yes. No.
No.
Yeah, but he wanted to do the depressing one. No.
Oh, it's
he
my
was-
pick. Why? Yeah.
Yeah.
After Sun, right? Okay, so next week's gonna be the movie episode. Maybe someday Esteban will pick one. Who knows?
Well, I mean, can I pick one?
You have to be there.
Yeah, you gotta
I
show
mean,
up, man.
if it's not my pick, just kidding, guys.
Um,
Oh Lord.
You're the worst. Why
I
can't I
know.
find my list right now? I'm sorry, guys. So one that I really want to get into coming up is scroll up. I have so much. The lead masks case, where 2 electronic technicians are found dead on a hillside wearing lead masks over their eyes and formal suits. Beside them, a notebook reading, "Meet at the designated location, take capsules, wait for signal. No trauma or poison detected." Dun, 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 dun. Just a little wet your whistle for my next topic.
Lightning.
Yeah, lightning. All right. So next week or 2 weeks is Epic's topic and his movie next. And yeah, you guys have anything else for the evening before we go play Fortnite?
Fortnite.
Fortnite. Esteban, you coming to play Fortnite with us?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, everybody. As always, be kind to yourselves, each other, and your insides, because Pizza After Midnight is a young man's game. Later.
Peace.
See it.